Okay, this is what we're having. Having tuna mayo with fried onions on bread. Emma, do you like it?
Yeah!
Baby Jacob, is it nice?
Yes!
Nice! Everybody thinks it's good? Yes?
Yes!
Yes!
I want!
Okay, alright. Hi, you're watching Grace B Eats, and we're here at Golden Mile Food Centre to talk about Chung Cheng. Originally a pushcart business along the Beach Road area in the 1950s, the stall does a few dishes, prawn mee and laksa, but they are actually most popular for their unique creation of chili mee. Now, some customers believe that as Chung Cheng was originally run by an elderly couple hailing from Sarawak, that their chili noodles is actually somehow Sarawak in nature. It actually isn't. It's a result of an exhaustive experimentation of more than 10 ingredients, which include gula melaka, dried shrimp, lemongrass, chili paste, and buah keluak, resulting in a unique chili sauce. Now in the hands of the third generation, the chili mee is what most customers order here, but to be completely honest, if you're trying it for the first time, the taste is something which you either love or is something which will completely underwhelm you. So, let's have a taste. Hi, can I order a $5 one? Then you also have one original one, right?
Minta teh kosong, teh kosong.
Okay, test. Now we ordered two bowls. One is the upsized version. There's basically three sizes of the chili mee. There's $3, $4 and $5. I ordered the $5 one. They don't actually... Now I also ordered the stripped down version. It's called Chilli Mee Kosong. They don't actually advertise it. If you're a regular customer, you will actually know that they have this option, which is just the noodles and the chili sauce and a bit of fried onions. That's it. There we go, which is just this. Now this stripped down version is actually the original rendition of the dish. You can still order it if you request it. The older regular customers might actually recognize it. But obviously, as the decades went on, the years went on, Singapore has been prospering, you know, customers become more affluent. They actually started to add more ingredients into the dish. Stuff like pork ribs, prawns, boiled egg, tau pork and the like. Now, in the original rendition, there's no prawn stock soup, but now they actually serve it lah. Compared to 3, 4 and 5, it only costs $2. So first, let's try the original one. Looks pretty good. There we go. Wonderful. Now the chili sauce is obviously the star of the show. It's got a complex savory flavor. It's spicy, it's oil rich. And I'm not sure whether if it's lard rich, but it's oil rich for sure. Spicy. Actually, let's try the sauce on its own first. I'm not sure if you can see it. You've got a bit of sweetness in it. Dried prawn for sure. Oil rich. Spiciness. Sweet, savory. I didn't actually realize it. Because when you actually eat it with the noodles, right, you don't actually taste the sweetness as much because the flavor is all spread out. The texture of the noodles is on the softer side. The noodles could be a bit more springier, but hey, you know, I'm not complaining. And obviously there's a bit of crunch from the fried onions. So it's nice, it adds a bit of texture. Not overly spicy, it's only lightly spicy. Light to medium spiciness. Now apparently years ago it used to be even spicier, which a lot of customers enjoyed, but now I think that they are trying to appeal to a bigger crowd, so they've actually toned down the spiciness. One thing also about the sauce is that if you're the sort of person who actually likes a lot of sauce, right, they won't actually give you a lot. So if you sort of like smile at them nicely, can we have some more sauce, right? They only give you a very little bit. And you notice that the lady in front, right, has a very black face because she's really reluctant. She doesn't want to give you any more sauce. So that's how much you get, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, it's not a lot lah, huh? Okay, now I'm trying the bigger version, which is the $5 option. Okay, which is this one. It looks good. It's got a whole lot of ingredients, as I said. You know, fish cake, tau pok, prawns, pork ribs, and there's also boiled egg as well. So anyway, now the two ingredients to actually take note of are the pork ribs and the prawns, because those are the best ingredients here. Where's the prawns? And the prawns are amazing. Perfectly blanched, not overly done, just that bit under blanched is wonderful. It still has that springiness to it. It's not powdery, it's not mealy at all, it's not frozen. These are very good prawns. And I emphasize how good the blanched prawns are. Because a lot of hawker stores, when they do blanched prawns, right, they always get it wrong. Most of the time, I think about 70% of the time, 80% of the time, Chung Cheng is one of the few places where they actually get the prawns right. Next, the fish cake. I think you know what fish cake tastes like, huh? Okay? Factory made usually. You know, a bit of a fish flavor, savory sweet. There you go. You have the tau pok. Tofu puffs. Obviously, if you mix it with the chili sauce, it's going to absorb all that chili flavor inside, and it's going to be like wow. I'm just tasting it naked. It's obviously been blanched a bit. That's all. Alright. Oh, the tau pok. It's actually quite a high quality one. It's quite robust and it's slightly seasoned. Now the other highlight, the pork rib. So good. Very well stewed. Not the softest in the world, not the most tender. It's a bit on the dry side, but you kind of expect it when they're stewed. But it's full of flavor. And there's also bits of fat throughout, obviously, near the pork rib. So it has that wonderful fat flavor thrown inside. These are fantastic pork ribs. Now the pork ribs and the prawns are the two main things to go for here. I mean, obviously besides the chili sauce. But those are the two big highlights here. Now they obviously have the boiled egg. There you go. And the boiled egg tastes like boiled egg. They do throw in some tauge as well, so you're not eating no vegetables. There are some vegetables. Now they also give you some soup at the side, which is very much appreciated because it means that you don't need to order a separate drink or so. And the noodle dish on itself, right, can be a bit on the dry side, just slightly. So if you want to wet it a little bit more, right, you can use a soup. And this is the typical prawn mee soup, the prawn hay mee soup. Prawn stock, a bit of sugar flavouring inside, a bit of savouriness. Very good actually. The other downside also is that the noodles have got a slight alkaline smell to them. Okay, it is pretty common in yellow noodles, so it is part of the cost I suppose. But it would be good if they could actually eliminate some of the smell. The texture is also on the softer side, which people may or may not like. I would suggest that if you actually have it, right, you take it and then you eat it quick, because the noodles will soften even more after that. Now if you read website comments, social media comments about the store, the general feeling I get is that people either love the store or they hate the store. But whatever it is, right, there is always a long queue. During lunchtime, it's one of the longest queues, and they get a decent amount of crowd throughout the day. And that is despite the fact that the owners, they're not the most friendliest hawkers in the world, let's put it that way. So the fact that they do get quite a strong crowd, right, basically means that they have a very strong following. A lot of people do actually like these noodles. And it is actually rather unique. This is the only stall in Singapore selling these noodles. There's no other place in Singapore. One more bite of the wonderful pork ribs. Look at that. Yum, yum. Oh, wow. Ooh. Okay, finished. I finished almost all of it. I left a bit of noodles. So, Chung Cheng Chilli Mee, a rather original dish which you can only find in Golden Mile Food Centre. Whether you like it or not, depends on whether you're a chili freak, but I think that it is a pretty compelling dish. and you should at least try the stall at least once. I for one will actually indulge in it maybe about once a month, once every 2 months. I like it, it's a nice dish. Even despite the fact that the hawkers are a bit grumpy lah, huh? So thanks for watching another episode of Great Speed Eats, where I eat through the whole of Singapore. If you like this episode, give a like, subscribe, comment below if you like this dish or not. Or maybe you found another store which actually sells this dish as well. I would love to know. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.